Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is LJ and in today's video I'm going to be doing a 3 days, 3 ways on the new Urban Decay foundation called Stay Naked. 3 days, 3 ways is a really thorough foundation review. So whenever I do a foundation review, I'll do 3 different techniques over the course of 3 ways using 3 different applications and seeing how well the foundation lasts under 3 different circumstances. So I'm guessing you get the point. I have combination skin type, so if anyone else has combination skin type, I hope you can relate. I have a dry exterior and an oily T-zone. I get very oily on my forehead and I get very patchy around my chin and nose area. The shade that I have is 10NN. I also have the complementary concealer that goes with this foundation that was released at the same time. 50 shades of the foundation available. 16 shades of the concealer. I'll double check and I'll leave it down below. So I find with this foundation it's extremely light in consistency. So I'm just going to pump out a little tiny bit so you get gist. So you can see it's very runny. It is a medium coverage foundation and it is buildable. What I like the most about the application recommendations on the Urban Decay website is if you wanted a sheer coverage, they tell you what tools are the best tools to use. You can see here it's after running down my hand a little bit. Just going to rub it just a small bit so you can see. It feels extremely lightweight on the skin and it's nice and fresh feeling, like there's no heaviness whatsoever. And I think you'll enjoy this review if you are looking for a new foundation. I do find that the shade is a tiny little bit too light for me. As you can see, it comes in the pump top bottle. You can twist off the top if you so desire to scoop out any little bits at the end, get your money's worth. The bottle is not glass, it is plastic. There is no real big scent of the product. It is retailing for this much. And it is available at your nearest Urban Decay counter or online. The concealer I find is definitely more full coverage. These two together are a match made in heaven. I'll give you that much. If you enjoy these style reviews, then please leave me a comment down below letting me know, because if you like them, I'll do more of them. If you want to see more, then make sure you subscribe. Without further ado, let's get straight into the 3 days, 3 ways Stay Naked Urban Decay foundation review. Welcome to day 1 of testing out the Stay Naked new foundation from Urban Decay. So day 1 is all about doing what the brand wants you to do. I have decided that I'm going to use as many Urban Decay products that I have, which is actually not that many, surprisingly. I don't have that many Urban Decay. I do have the setting spray and I also have the Stay Naked concealer that goes with it, so I will be using those. I'm going to use a primer today. I'm going to use my favorite primer at the moment, which is the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Oil. This is a great primer. I chose this one because this foundation is supposed to have a matte finish and I don't want it to look too matte. I want to make it look a little bit more balanced. I've really been enjoying this primer. It gives you such a lovely finish. Even though I'm oily on my T-zone, I still apply it to my T-zone and it just makes your foundation and your whole face look flawless. I also have a breakout here and I have a nasty guy down here as well. Okay, let's get down to business. So I looked up the application recommendations on the website and it was fantastic because they gave you so many different ways of applying the foundation if you wanted really light coverage, medium coverage and a full coverage. So I really appreciated that because that's like a part of the reviews that I do here as well over the course of 3 days. It's 3 different applications. Day 1 is whatever they recommend. So they were recommending 3 different types. So I'm going to use a sponge today for my application. And I'm going to blend it out. So I just feel like the sponge is really just blotting everything away. So I'm going to rub in another little bit. This is not a full coverage foundation. So I just wanted to even everything out first and then I'm going to blot it over with the sponge. Okay, I have it all applied now. As you can see, I look a little bit like a ghost, but it will be fine because once I have my bronzer on and everything all finished up, it will be totally fine. Application, it went on really nicely. It just melts into your skin into a more of a natural skin, second skin-like finish. And I really like that. It's not too heavy and it's not too cakey on the skin. It just melts into your skin really nicely. So I'm just applying on the Stay Naked concealer that also was released at the same time as the foundation. And this is also very nicely blending into the skin as well. This is much more full coverage in comparison to the foundation. As you can see, it's really starting to blend into my skin tone already. Like, it's not as pale as it was once it first applied. It's naturally adapting to the color of my skin. Okay, so that is the foundation applied now. It looks really nice on the skin. Really flawless. Quite flawless on the skin. Very nice. I'm really happy with the application. The concealer definitely is more full coverage in comparison to the foundation, so it's great for blotting in those areas that you want a little bit more full coverage. It really just looks like my skin, but just fully like evened out and cancelled out any blemishes, and it just looks like a blank canvas now. So I'm going to do the rest of my face now, and I'm going to pop right back then to show you the finished day one look. Alrighty, I have the rest of my face on now. Everything went on absolutely perfectly. For today, I did apply a powder, so I didn't feel like I needed a powder to be applied, but I applied it anyway just for the purpose of reviewing. So I applied the Nars Soft Velvet Pressed Powder in the shade Snow, and I applied it just to the places where I would usually get oily. That is the centre of my forehead, around the sides of my nose and my chin. It didn't interfere with the formula of the foundation or anything. I only applied a tiny little bit. Did I apply some under my eyes? I did. I did a little bit of application of the powder underneath my eyes as well, even though I did feel like I didn't really need it. The concealer wasn't really creasing or anything, which was really impressive for me, because I do have a lot of crinkles under my eyes and it usually does crease right in underneath the lash line. So to finish off my face today, I am going to grab the All Nighter Urban Decay. This is the travel size. I picked it up at the duty free. Oops. And I dropped the lid. And I'm just going to do a few test squirts first, because the first few is always a spit, and I'm going to lash it on my face. So that is going to lock everything in place. Everything is looking great. The spots are coming through just a small bit, but that's fine. Like, you know, we're not all perfect. I'll get back to you later on and see how we get on. Hello, it is the end of the day now, and I've had the foundation on for 11.5 hours. And it still looks perfect. The foundation is still looking really nice. The colour of the foundation really matched up to the rest of my body eventually. So it just naturally adapted to my natural skin tone, which is really cool. Looking up close, there's no real big problem areas. Where I have my blemishes, alright, they have like become a little bit patchy, a little bit crusty, shall we say. But other than that, everything else looks really good. I'm really happy with it, and I don't know how it can get any better than this, but we'll give it day 2 to see. I think day 2s are the ultimate test, because it is like the true staying power of the actual foundation in itself, in its whole entirety. So day 2 we don't really use much, mostly cream products, and we use our hands, and we just really put the foundation to work. So I'm curious to see how this gets on. Day 1 was a complete success. Looking forward to day 2, and I'll see you guys in the morning. Welcome to day 2 of testing out the Stay Naked foundation by Urban Decay, the new one. So yesterday, day 1 was an absolute success. I'm sure we can make it better. Today is the ultimate test. Day 2 is always like the ultimate test as to if the foundation is going to work on its own or not. So today is minimalist day, so I'm going to be using as little products as possible, but also doing a full face to see how long it's going to last, and the easiest way application wise possible, using as little products as possible, as little tools as possible for those of you who are more minimalist. I'm going to apply the foundation straight onto my skin. I'll do 3 pumps Ooh, that might be too much maybe. We'll chance it anyways. I still have those blemishes everywhere that we need to cover up. They're so sore. They're really kind of cystic, like there's nothing coming out of them properly. I'm going to try and apply this with just my hands and see how we get on. So if you've seen a few of my tutorials, you'll know that applying foundation with my hands is not my most favorite. I feel like this was very liquid and almost, with your hands you need something a bit thicker to blend in. It dries up really quickly, like it sets itself, which is amazing. And it's not like making my pores stand out too much or anything, which is really good. As you can see, the color difference, I look like a ghost right now, but as we saw yesterday, the color adapts. So it oxidizes just the tiniest bit, it adapts to your natural skin tone, and it looks a lot more natural once we have the rest of the face done. By that time, it will be all set in. I'm just patting my face lightly just to make sure that I have no streak marks and there's no excess foundation on my skin. My nose, I do have a lot of texture on my nose, so I am a bit concerned that that is showing up a small bit, but I was like picking at it last night, which doesn't help. But other than that, it is looking very natural and very nice on the skin. I'm gonna go and do the concealer now. So I'm gonna do that around my eyes. I'm also going to tackle the blemish areas. I'm going to dab out my concealer now with my finger. That blended out really nicely with my finger, but all very time consuming. So for the rest of it, I'm going to use a sponge. Alrighty, that is the foundation and the concealer all blended into my face right now. Okay, I'm going to go right ahead, do the rest of my face, and I'll be right back when everything is done. Alright guys, I have the rest of my face on now. Everything is looking amazing. Like, I have a very medium coverage. I have covered successfully my blemishes, thankfully. So I'm going to see how I get on with the rest of my day wearing this foundation. All cream, the foundation put to the ultimate test today. No primer, no setting powder, no setting spray. Just cream products on top of a cream foundation, and we'll see how we get on. So I'll check right in later on. Hello! Okay, I'm back. I have the foundation on for about 12 hours now. So after an hour I went out of this room and I looked in the mirror and I was really impressed with how the foundation looked. It looked quite dewy, which I wasn't expecting because the other times I tried it, it was a matte finish. So it did look very fresh and very natural, and I'm looking a little bit shinier today, I must say, but it's not after breaking up as much or anything. I have my thrifty little blotting sheets here, so let's give them a go. I didn't try them at all in day one, but there was no need really, like, because everything looks so good. So I am looking quite shiny around my forehead area, if you can see that bouncing back at you there. I'm just gonna pop this on, and there we go. You can see those oils coming through. Wow, okay, yeah, so that's where the powder comes in handy, because that's going to help to block that. Ooh, and we're looking really matte then all of a sudden, which is amazing. Let's see if it breaks up after blotting. Because those of you who are much shinier than me might do this more frequently throughout the day. I didn't top up or anything at all. There's no transfer on my blotting sheet of foundation. And I noticed as well earlier that I was like itchy somewhere, and I like pressed it. You know when you have foundation on and you're like, you can't rub, but you like press it, and there was no transfer onto my fingers either. So we're looking really good. I did notice as well the tip of my nose here where I was picking at it last night didn't really cover very well, and it kind of came off there too. You can see a lot of oils coming through onto the blotting sheet, but it is not breaking up the foundation underneath the oils, which is key. And we're back. We have a fully matte face again. I did notice as well that I felt as though the foundation didn't really adapt to my skin tone as good as it did yesterday, that it stayed a little bit too pale for me. So maybe that's where the powder comes in place as well. The powder helps to bring out the natural tone in it, like it sets it into your skin maybe. I could be completely wrong in that kind of a theory, but who knows? I did honestly feel like it didn't set in as good as it did yesterday. But we'll see how we get on tomorrow. I feel like this foundation is definitely a foundation that is going really high up on my favorites list. So far so good. Like, I've had absolutely no issues with it. I did a first impressions on my Instagram stories and I was just gobsmacked with how well it stayed. And I'm looking forward to day 3, and day 3 is the day where we bring everything together and we try out what I think is going to be the best combination for the foundation. So let's get to it. I'm going to take this face off now and I'll see you in the morning for day 3. Hey guys, welcome to day 3. So day 3, we are going to get cracking straight away. I'm going to pop on a primer. So I'm going to pop on the Smashbox primer oil because, as I said, it is one of my favorites at the moment. So I'm just going to pop that on all over. So as you can see, I have my lid eye makeup done already. I am doing some kind of a tutorial and I changed my background as well. But I also forgot to mention yesterday that it rained and during day 2, and like, I don't know what kind of witchcraft this foundation is, but it literally didn't budge. And it was the same with that mascara I was using. It was the first time using that particular mascara and it didn't budge either. So I don't know, am I having like severely really good makeup days lately, or products that are being released are just amazing at the moment, that the quality is second to none. I am really enjoying this foundation. So today is going to be more of a let's just prove this once more kind of a test, and let's see how we get on. So I'm going to give it a shake. I'm going to apply it with a brush today actually. Did I apply it with a brush day 1? I can't really remember now at this stage. But I'm going to apply it with a brush and then bop it over with the sponge afterwards. So today I am also going to use powder products. Is my preference to use powdered contour, blusher, highlighter and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to do that today, and I'm also going to powder my face in the T-zone just to make sure that it stays put, and I am going to add quite a bit just to see how we get on with a heavier coverage today, and let's see if it sinks into our skin a little bit better. Kind of streaky with the brush, like it is a very, very light in consistency formula. So now I am going to buff it in with my sponge. I do look like a ghost, but we know that will settle in once I have it powdered, hopefully anyway. And again, I'm going to use the Stay Naked concealer under my eyes and wherever else needed. Okay, I have my foundation and concealer on now. I'm going to continue on with the rest of my face, mostly powder products, and I'll check right in when we are finished the full face and we will do a little mini update. Okay guys, I'm back. I have all the rest of my face on now. I'll leave all the products linked in the description box below. If I have a tutorial up for this eye makeup, I will be sure to link that below as well. As predicted, everything is looking amazing. It's more amazing than previous 2 days, possibly. We'll see how it lasts throughout the day. I'll check in tonight. I also use setting spray on top of everything. Very lightly mist. I didn't soak it in or anything. I lightly mist it and then I put my face through it. Everything is looking perfect. I have absolute faith in this foundation that will be absolutely perfect at the end of the night, but we will see. I'm back. It's been like 13 or 14 hours now, so I've had this on all day. I've had a day. It's been a crazy day for me. I'm looking just a tiny bit shiny. That's the only thing I have to say about the foundation. If I was to nitpick at something, I have my trusty little sheet here. I know it's going to stick, and yes it does. You can see the oils coming through. That's after powdering and setting spray today. It's normal, it's natural. You know, your oils, if you've oily skin, if they're coming through, kind of a bit unnatural if they don't, I think. But blotting here just to see how we're looking after blotting, and as we saw from yesterday, it was perfectly fine and we could carry on as normal. I'm going to be taking this off straight away afterwards. I feel like the shade is definitely a little bit too pale for me. Maybe in the winter time I might be able to get away with it a little bit better, like on my chin, around my chin area. For some reason you can really see the paleness in it. I've no fault to give. It is a medium coverage foundation, so I'll give it that. You can't really build it up to a full coverage, but it's not supposed to be a full coverage, so it's fine. Like, I am happy with the medium coverage. It still camouflages all my flaws. This spot here, you can see it still, but it's not as obvious as it would be without the foundation. So that's it. I'm not going to blabber on anymore. You know the drill. This is witchcraft. I've no idea what kind of magic potion they have in this Urban Decay. Urban Decay, what kind of witchcraft is this line? It's amazing. It's gotten me through a really tough day, and yes, I do highly recommend, if you're after a new foundation or if you're curious to try it out, definitely try a sample at your nearest counter and see how you get on with it. And I'm sure it won't disappoint if you have similar skin type to me, which is a combination. Anyways, I'm not going to blabber on anymore. If you want to see some disastrous foundation reviews, because maybe secretly that's what you're actually here for, I'll leave something linked here for you to watch. And that is it. I'm going to cast off right now because I have nothing else to say. Only thank you so much for watching, and I'll hopefully see you in the next video.